How's it? Sean here from the Games Yard. Hearts of Iron now, their finest hour. Let's get going. Let's play as Germany. Start our campaign as Germany. So I'm gonna start with the Road to War, 1936, 1st of January. I'm gonna keep everything on normal, and yeah, we're gonna try and conquer the world with Germany. We're gonna try and win this war with Germany. Let's see how far we get. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Everything's on normal, victory conditions, a whole lot. Let's get started. Okay, yeah, we start. Opening moves. Okay, the first thing, here's my plan. Um, I'm going to build up Germany's IC, industrial capacity. That's my main focus. So I'm going to spend a lot of time in these early years before we go to war building up the IC, fixing all the infrastructures, yeah, getting more IC, building it up. I'm also going to buy a lot of crude oil. Okay, I'm gonna buy a lot of crude oil, and I'm also gonna buy a lot of rare materials. I'm gonna get some of this on the market because Germany needs oil. This is the major problem with Germany is oil. And with this crude oil, I'm going to improve my refining techniques to produce to improve it for the fuel. Now, what I'm going to do in this episode, in this video, is I'm just gonna set up our opening moves here. The diplomacy, production, politics, tech, intelligence. Now, I'm not gonna do any trading now because in this game, it's like the Hearts of Iron 2. When you start up, these things are not they're inaccurate. These resources are inaccurate because of the way the economy works and the supply chains or whatever. So, on the 2nd of January. Okay, 1936. This will all be correct, and then I'm going to buy. So I'm first thing I'm going to do is buy energy. I'm sorry, not buy energy. I'm going to sell energy because we have a surplus of this. I'm going to sell it to the wealthiest nations and sell them energy to get money. Okay. Now with that money, I'm then going to go and after I've sold for a while and I've brought up my money, I'm then going to buy rare materials and crude oil. That's my plan. That's what I'm going to do. So let's just go to the diplomacy screen first. There's nothing I'm going to do here until the 2nd. I'm not going to do any trading or anything like that on the screen. I'm going to come back here when we've updated this to the 2nd. Okay, so in the production screen, yeah, I'm just going to lock all of this. I'm going to keep that on. Yeah, I'm going to keep that there. Consumer goods, very important because it affects your dissident. Okay, dissident level. So that's what you want. You got to keep your consumer goods on there. Supplies as well. I'm going to bring that right down. And I'm going to bring that right down. I'm going to leave this until the 2nd. I'm going to reevaluate this after that. It's not in a, so the customer goods 1286 and supplies 1229. And I'm going to leave everything else unlocked for now. Technology I'm going to come back to. I just want to pick my ministers. Okay, foreign minister I'm going to keep the same because he's susceptibility to the Axis. So I'm going to keep all of them. So I'm going to keep him. This guy I'm going to replace with administrative genius. Okay, he's going to help our IC. Okay, so he's the best one here that we can pick. I'm going to replace him with the man of the people, Joseph Goebbels. Leadership plus 5%. Leadership is very important here. We don't have to worry so much now because we have 140%. So we've got 21,000 odd officers and we're covering only 172 brigades, but for the proper ratio we need about 14,000. So I'm not going to worry too much about that, but I am going to put him in leadership anyway because leadership is very important. This guy here for the head of intelligence, I'm going to replace with this Willem Frick. Frick. Okay, he's the best here. Some of these guys you can use, like your land intel, and I mean this is a good guy in situations when you need him. The industrial intelligence guy, his specialist is good. Land intel specialist is good, but the best guy I'm because he gives you an overall bonus to your intelligence. So I'm going to pick him. School of movement. I like the speed guy. Don't get me wrong. This is a good guy when we go to war. But at the moment, this is the best guy, because what I want to do is reduce the supply throughput and reduce the amount of supplies that our present units, brigades and divisions use at the moment during peacetime. So I can put more of that into IC. Okay, so he's the best guy for that. Practical deploy. This guy, yeah, guns and butter. Supply reduction, supply consumption, minus 10%. He's the best for that. The Chief of the Navy, we're not going to go into capital ship building. And in Germany, what I'm going to do with Germany is I'm going to focus on the submarine warfare. Traditional, the way they went. I think we can break the Allies, convoy routes, and Britain and America. So I'm going to focus on that. So we're not gonna build big aircraft carriers. We're going to select that because he's the nearest. And over here, we're going to pick the light aircraft practical decay, because these guys, we're going to build mostly like light aircraft. All right, so I'm covered with that. These laws are pretty much, we've got most of them. Specialist training, very important. We're already there. Propaganda press, we're already there where we need to be. This is also great. Counter espionage plus 10%. That's not so. So all of these are already where we kind of need to be. As we move when we make war, we'll probably go to total economic mobilization, but we'll get there when we get there. 2-year draft, yeah, we want to move this up a little bit, but at the moment we can't, because we have some factors that we need to sort out first. And the totalitarian system. My pronunciation, terrible. Okay, so we're already where we want to be over there. Okay, so that's it. Let's do the intelligence. Before I'm going to go back to technology now, but I want to sort out our intelligence, our opening intelligence moves. All right, so I'm going to move this right up to active domestic spies total, counter espionage way up. Ruling party 1 with raise national unity, just 1 in there. Let's look at the majors. First of all, on France, I want to push up the not national unity, sorry. Okay, increase their threat and send spies to France. I'm going to do the same and counter espionage. I'm going to put one in there for now. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the United Kingdom. Increase their threat, 1 for counter espionage, and send spies over there. And that's covered that. I'm going to do the same for the Soviet Union. I'm going to increase their threat, make them look like bad boys, and counter espionage. I'm going to send all the spies I can over there. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do there. Now there's 2 other countries. Poland we're going to go to war with soon. So I'm going to also increase Poland's threat. Send spies down there. And counter espionage 1. Okay. Maybe I should send just 2. I don't want to flood them with spies, but they're gonna be one of my priorities, because we're gonna go to war with Poland. That's our first order of battle. Czechoslovakia as well. Czechoslovakia wasn't it was annexed by Germany, but it wasn't really a war there. So I'm going to increase the threat of Czechoslovakia. I'm going to put 1 in, and I'm going to put 2 spies in there. There we go. Counter espionage, increase their threat. Anybody else? Poland I covered. There's nobody else I'm interested in working with. And that's about it. I think that's covered it. Europe, let me just get back to the majors. I've done France. Counter espionage. I've done Russia. And I've done the... America's too far away. Alright, so this also works on distance. So I think our intelligence is done. Okay, so there's all of these leaders, these 3, they're only going to update on the 2nd of January. And so all of these figures here. So I'm not going to do any kind of production until I see what we have left here. Let me go there. I want that completely on 0. Is this all figured out? It's only that one's going to move. Okay, hang on. Sorry, man. Just make sure that's... There we go. 1220 put. 1229. Just want to make sure these are all done before we go to the... Okay, so I'm happy with this screen at the moment. And we'll build here. What we're going to do is we're going to build up the Germany's infrastructure, because infrastructure affects supplies. Supply throughput. So we're going to build up infrastructure. We're going to then build tons of IC early in the game, so that when it gets to war, we got the capacity to build a lot of things. That's important. So what I should do in the Hearts of Iron 2, and then we're going to put radar and anti-air and all that stuff in there. All right, so we've done I've done nothing in the diplomacy. I'm going to wait until this updates before I begin with that. Production, I'm going to keep it until this updates. I want to see what my final IC is. Technology, we're coming to. We've done everything. We've picked our ministers. Just double checking, because I always forget things in games. We've got all the right guys, I believe, in the right places. We've done our intelligence bits and pieces. Okay. We can always change this again on the second if I forget anything. All right, so let's go to technology. All right, the first thing I want to do is go to the industry tab, and I want these two industries, these two techs, industrial production and industrial efficiency. Now, there are 38 techs, but they're going to be ready in May in 1937. Okay, so I want those two. Before I go, I want to put all my officers on 0. Okay, so I'm going to watch this. And when this, because we're ready, like I said earlier, we've got 21,000 officers, and we need at least 14 only thousand. So I'm going to watch this ratio, but for now, I'm going to put nothing in officers. I want this at 20. That's what I definitely want, this baby at 20. Because I want to put 20 research. Come on, go down. Okay, good. Now I'm going to go one more. Okay, I want that. With this, we're going to spread. Look, the diplomacy with your diplomats, it's a 50%. So for every one leadership, you get half a diplomat. So I'm going to put 2 in there. Okay, so I get 1. So I put 2 in, I'll get 1 diplomat a day. I want to put a lot in spies, so I'm just going to do this for now, because I'm going to use that 35, but, yeah, surprise me, 1 diplomat. The spy ratio is like a lot lower. I think it's 2 or 3 spies for every, you need to put 3 the spy ratio is not, you don't get as many spies for your officers, for your leadership. Okay, I just want to check everything's cool. So that's how I want it to start. I want a little bit what the rest of this can go into espionage for now, because I want to build up my spies. Okay, so I'm getting just over 7.68. I'm getting just over 1 spy a day, and here I'm getting 1 diplomat a day. So it just shows you, right? All right, cool. Let's start with the research. Okay, let's go to infantry. Okay, so I want all the 36 techs. That's definitely the case. I want all those 36 techs. I'm not going to go into militia and cavalry, because, I mean, we already have motorized infantry. We already know it, so you don't need to research those. For now, we'll have a look later. We'll have a look as the game goes on. Oh, there's nothing. There's all 39 techs. They're just 2. Okay, cool. The light tank, I want all of these. All of those, all of those, and all of those. Okay. Now, the balance here is between... I want the artillery upgrades. They're all 36 upgrades. Anti-aircraft carriage, and sights. AA defense, soft attack, hard attack, motorized defensiveness, soft attack. Ooh, it's between armored cars, because armored cars got a lot of mobility. They can very good in the open plain. They can double up for cheap tanks. You understand? You can always put them with your infantry. Well, not with your infantry because they're faster, but you can always. Yeah, armored cars are useful. But in the meantime, for now, I'm going to go with the anti-tanks because I do want anti-tank brigades. I do want anti-tank brigades, so I'm going to take the barrels and the sights and the muzzles. So that's covered that. So what are we sitting at? 14 projects. Escorts, submarine hull, definitely. Let me just see. These are low techs, but I want to improve my submarines. So I'm going to. Let me come back to submarines. They're 37, but they're low techs. I think I can. Submarines is important. I'm not worried about light cruisers. Well, destroyers definitely as well. Because screens for your. Because we have a little bit of a navy, but that's not where we're going to go. What we're going to do, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to tackle the traditional way that Germany went. U-boats in the North Atlantic, cutting off the convoy routes and all that. I'm going to focus on that. So I'm going to get my submarine fleet up. But we have a small fleet. Okay, so, and these are only 36 techs. So destroyers is important to act as screens. Also light cruisers as well. They increase the average speed of your fleet. So I'm going to come back to that. I want to see what else is important here. None of these for now. See how things change. Bombers. These are all 39 techs, so we'll deal with them when we get there. 39 techs, I'm going to deal with them when we get there. This is important because, as I said, I'm going to buy a lot of crude, okay, and rare materials because we don't have a lot of that. So this is important, this conversion techniques thing here. Okay, so I'm going to develop this. All right, but it's 41, 40, 38 techs, and they're pretty difficult. There's not industrial computing. We need that. Overall research. Radar. Before I carry on, I just want to these things over here, because whatever you build gives you these practical theories. These are the theories, but it gives you practical. Whatever you build, what you build most of. But I don't like playing the game like that because it makes me think in terms of like, oh, geez, I got to keep up my practical. I got to keep up the light aircraft because this does improve your research. But the thing is, the way I look at this game, and it's the same thing when I played Hearts of Iron. Let this take care of itself. I want to build what I think is necessary for the country, without worrying about whether I have enough practical destroyer or do I have enough of these research practicals that's going to help me improve the research. Yes, it helps you improve your research, but I think a person needs to look at their country in overall and have a plan and build what you need, what you think you want to do. So if you want to build a huge army of like tanks or whatever, go build them. Don't come back here and sit and worry about, do you have enough infantry practical? I know it's a bit of a risky sort of way of looking at it, but I do sometimes look at this to make sure that I've at least, I'm not dropping here, because from 5 upwards up to 10 is basically diminishing returns. So if these things drop below 5, then I'll start looking at these things. But I'm not going to concentrate heavily on that. Okay, I'm just going to look for what I need for Germany. All right, and build that. And then come back here if I have to and look at where my practicals and my other doctrine practicals are going. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I need mechanical engineering. Radar is very important. It is encryption devices because they help you lift the fog of war. But these are important, but they're late technologies. So I'm mainly looking for the 36 technologies. This is also good because it helps you. It helps the decay of these. These drop by one a day or one a year. Sorry, one a year. If you don't build these things. I think that's the maths behind it. So these are important. So electronic engineering research obviously is going to, where was I now? It's obviously going to, my mechanical engineering is going to help me improve the research of this. And yeah, so that's also, but not for now. Okay. Land. Doctrines. Land doctrines. This one I want. This one I want. And the special forces, because this is the mountain special forces. I'm not going to use engineering as well. I'm not going to use paratroopers. I don't know if I will. We'll see what the need for that is. But mountains, these mountain troops are indispensable. They can rough terrain, whatever. So I want mountain troops. I'm going to do that. Now, I just want to explain this thing here. In Hearts of Iron, these guys, you kind of set. This was kind of Germany's sort of path. And this was, I think, the Delay Doctrine, Firepower was the Americans' path. And one of these was the Japanese path. Now, in Hearts of Iron 3, you can kind of like switch around. You won't lose. I mean, if you know what I'm talking about with Hearts of Iron, you lose stuff because you're already down this path. So you can kind of switch around, which is cool. You can take some of the other doctrines from the other, the other fields and build your unique. So, like, for example, I'm taking, this was Germany's sort of blitzkrieg path, but I've taken the special forces for the mountain. Not the Marines, the mountain organization. All right, naval. Is there anything I want in naval? These techs are all 37, destroyer, battleship. Okay. Here, this is a good one. And it's a 1918. So I want to get that thing out. When will that? September 36. So it's going to be now. A logistical strike tactics. Very interdiction tactics. Logistical strike. Logistical bombing. Destroying supplies and that. This is a good tech to have. And it's a 36 tech as well. So I'm going to take that one for our back. So we sit there. Hey, that's 20. Okay, I was just having so much fun here. Okay, so I think I'm going to do this. I got the 36 techs over there and I got this one for 18. I didn't pick any naval stuff because they're all 37. But I'll have a look at the naval ones as those finish. I haven't got to theory. I will come back to theory. Secret projects. This is something we can look forward to in the future, not right now. Let's just get the pressing needs done. This is a field I'm going to develop. This field, the radar, very important. And these two. I've taken these ahead of time. They're going to finish next year because they are important. It's geared to where I'm going to build Germany. Fighters, 39 techs. I'm going to leave them for now. Capital. Nothing, because I'm not gonna be building aircraft carriers and all this type of stuff. So this is a field I'm gonna leave for now. These fields, this for my submarines and some of these light cruisers and destroyers. Armor, definitely the anti-aircraft, because I think that affects also the anti-aircraft you place in your provinces. So that will be one I want. As well, and I've taken the artillery and the anti-tank. Also, I'm going to go back to the armored cars and this, just to get them the medium tank. Move through so I can get this opened up. And infantry, we've covered the main infantry upgrades. Assault weapons, engineers are decent because they help you with river crossings and all this type of stuff. But I think, and I'm going to leave the militia and this cavalry for now. Okay, I'm not going to put any leadership in there. So we covered 2 diplomacy per day and about one diplomacy and 1 espionage per day. Okay. All right, the spies. I know we've done the spies now. All right, I want to keep this at 20 because I want to research. And as officers, as I said, as they drop, I'll keep an eye on them. Diplomacy is going to happen the next when we move to the 1st of January. I'm going to leave this as it is. I'm going to keep that on manual control. And diplomacy I'm not touching. Okay, until So I'm going to buy a lot of energy, to repeat myself, from rich countries. I'm going to sell. Guess what? I'm going to sell a lot of energy for a while to up my money. Okay, my money. And then I'm going to switch over to buying rare materials and crude oil. Okay, that's my basic plan. After that, and then I'm going to look at the reoccupation of the Rhineland. I think we can do that right now. We just got to place some of these units in those areas. We've got 1 or 2. We've got 1 in there at the moment. Okay, so I think we can do the reoccupation of the Rhine. I think we can manage that. We're going to give that a go. And the rest of these I've got date sets for later. Austria of Austria. Yeah, and then I want to drift these guys through, but I don't want, I was thinking of putting some, and I'm not so sure. I was thinking of putting some influence points, influencing a couple of these nations, especially like Hungary and Romania. But the thing is, it's a daily cost of three. I think it's three diplomats every day. So I'm going to look at that when we get to the 2nd of January. I'll have a look at that. All right. So for now, I think that's covered everything. I'm not going to touch our forces because we'll build that up after the 2nd. Let's just get to the 2nd of January. I think I covered everything. Diplomacy, production, I've set. Technology, I've put in. Politics, I've picked all my leaders. The intelligence, I hope I haven't left anything out. Put what I needed. There's nothing in theaters for now. Okay, so let's get to the 1st. Let's get to the 2nd, I mean. Okay. So watch this because I want this thing to finish off exactly on the 2nd. I want to pause this on the 2nd so I can look at our overall situation. I just don't want this to move too fast. Okay, go a little bit faster. Okay, just caught it. That's what I wanted. Okay, so you notice how this is all changed. It's all been updated. All our politics guys are in. This guy's the IC. It's all been updated. So now this is the great start. This is where I usually like to start. Then I can look at my true figures. You know what I'm getting in. What are my rare materials? That's important because the game doesn't update it then. So I think that part, the next video, I'm gonna set up what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take all the leaders out. I'm gonna do one like what I'm not gonna do this now, but I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna unassign and take off the auto assign, and I'm not gonna really rebuild this, but I'm gonna change a few things in the structures here so I can get the most. I'm gonna put some logistic wizards in the army group level. If I'm not mistaken, that's where supply is important. Your theater level is a stacking penalty, reduces that. Supply army group level. Armies give you a combat efficiency, and corpses give you a reinforcement bonus or something like that. So I want to put some logistic wizards, especially in my army, in the army group level, and we've got one of each here. Okay, so I think that's it for this first setup stage of Germany. Please like this video, share it with everybody you know, and please subscribe to my channel. I'm just busy growing it, playing these awesome, wonderful games. And leave any comments. You know, I'm not an expert at this. You know, I'm not an expert at this. I have a set plan, but I'm not an expert. So please leave comments, suggestions, anything that can help me here. You know, on the path that I'm on, anything I left out. All right, okay. Sean from the Games Yard. Good day on you.